for the locker rooms. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Alright, go ahead and do the referee introductions.
The officials for tonight's match are Rachel Lego, Sue Moichi, Kirsten Hines, and Alma Roque. The starting lineup for today's opponent, Toledo Villa FC, is number 1, Avery Sluice, number 3, Bray Hasty, number 6, Ashley Haight, number 8, Lila Maurer, number 11, Avery Zeisloft, number 14, Adria Clark, number 15, Julia Tyman, number 23, Nada Deerlinker, number 25, Sadie Walsh, number 27, Jessica Gast, and number 28, Taylor Lind. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Indy 11! Indy 11's goalkeeper, number 0, Emily Edwards. Number 9, Reese Sahaki. Number 10, Emma Johnson. Number 12, Matt Brewer. Number 13, Chloe Brett. Number 17, Jalen Guthrie. Number 21, Brianna Dardano. Number 23, Brooklyn Lee. Number 27, Abby Mills. Number 32, Nikki Jadoin. And number 35, Riley DiMartino. The head coach of Indy 11 is Brandon Kim. He is assisted by assistant coaches Gina Gourmet and Raina Hoffbauer. Goalkeeper coach is Andy Swift, and assistant goalkeeper coach is Dr. Kelly Freeland. Give it up for your Indy 11!
Let's have some music in the downtime.
At the Community Health Network Event Center on the Droplight Sports Campus here at Grand Park in Westfield, the regular season finale of USLW League action featuring two teams, of course, who are battling for some postseason implications both here and across the rest of the Valley Division as the Indy 11 women get set to take on Toledo Villa FC. Today's game of Indy 11 soccer is brought to you by Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes, and by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Well, good evening, everybody, from wherever you may be watching here, of course, on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network. My name is Kurt Darling, filling in for Greg Rakestraw here this evening, but of course, always joined by Kristen Hazley. Kristen, a pleasure to be back with you. Of course, lots on the line tonight, of course, for Indy 11, of course, considering the fact that they're playing for a postseason spot here this evening.
Absolutely. Always great to be back with you, Kurt. Feels like old times here up in the booth. Awesome to have you, but you are exactly right. This is a must-win game for the Indy 11 to keep their postseason hopes alive. They need some help, but it all starts here, getting this win against a Toledo Villa FC team that they've handled pretty easily this season, but the classic trap game if you don't focus and take things seriously.
And let's go ahead and take a look at how the math stands out here for our AES Indiana League standings, accelerating the future of energy together. At the moment here, Kristen, Indy 11 at the top of the table, but Racing Louisville playing Dayton Dutch Lions. In fact, a game that is simultaneously happening to this one. Indy 11, of course, with a win tonight, need Racing Louisville to either draw or lose to Dayton Dutch Lions to clinch a spot in the playoffs.
Absolutely. The big number there to look at is that match played. You see Indy 11 leading there with 8, meaning they're a game ahead. So this is their final game here. Need that win to get those 3 points, and then they really need Racing Louisville to either tie tonight or on the weekend, or a loss would work as well, but really just trying to keep your hopes alive here, and then fingers crossed that the math works out for you.
You certainly hope so, as those are your AES Indiana league standings, accelerating the future of energy together. Both teams are taking their respective positions here, but either way, it's certainly been an interesting whole season long here for Indy 11. What has really stuck out to you here as we get ready for this matchup?
Well, main thing, just how well they've been playing lately. You know, it's tough in this 4-team division to really solidify yourself as that #1 spot. Indy 11 never played poorly throughout the season, just a bit of a slow start. You see how even just one draw really can come back in this shortened, tight season, especially with how tight the standings have been.
We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, starting lineups and keys to the game here on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world, we turn brands into something people feel, turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
Deep inside you, there's a spark waiting to be ignited. A yearning for a real connection, something that truly moves you. Find experiences that stir your soul in our new Kentucky home, where amazing nature and authentic bluegrass inspire you, where world-renowned bourbon and horses wow you. Kentucky, find what moves you.
Across the globe, billions share one passion: soccer. And here in the Hoosier State, that passion belongs to the Indy 11. Fast-paced action, electric crowds, and a team that represents Indiana every time they step on the field.
Make it 7 for Bruno Rendon. Chance to cue the smoke in Indianapolis.
Indy 11, the world's game, Indiana's team. Secure your seats today at Indy11.com.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
W League regular season finale here inside of the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. ISC Sports Network, Sports Engine Play. Alongside Kristen Hazley, I'm Kurt Darling. Indy 11 getting set to take on a Toledo Villa FC. With that, let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, who are a proud supporter of Indy 11 soccer. Starting, of course, with Toledo Villa FC here. Rather, we'll go with Indy 11, my bad. Of course, we have a really good lineup in particular. Emily Edwards has been as solid as anybody in the W League this season in goal.
Absolutely. A second year back here, really cementing herself as the starting keeper for this crew. Does a nice job of commanding that back line. It's been consistent for her. You look at Abby Mills, Matt Kruer, Chloe Brecht, and Brooklyn Lee making her start tonight as well. And really Emma Johnson, number 10, the headliner, entering back into the starting lineup after her time with the U.S. Youth National Team.
And with that, let's switch gears to Toledo Villa FC, only bringing 13 players to the contest here this evening. Avery Sluice going to be starting in goal, but Avery Zeisloff really going to be the lead attacker here of the two forwards.
Yeah, they'll have to keep track of Zeisloff in that front line, playing the number 9 spot. Avery Sluice, you mentioned the goalkeeper, familiar to folks here in Indiana. She plays her college soccer at Indiana Wesleyan, as does her center defender, Timon, right in front of her. So a good relationship there between those two. You know, this team has struggled a little bit in their first year here in the Valley Division, but again, sets up for potentially a trap match if you don't come into this ready to rock.
Indy 11 have beaten Toledo Villa FC twice this season. Back on May 16th, it was a 3-1 win on the road, and then again on the road on the 3rd of June, which was a 6-0 victory in favor of the girls in blue. And with that, we will go ahead and take a look at our keys to the game, also brought to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, who are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer.
Well, look, we're going to keep it short and sweet today. You've got one job, that's to win the game, right? What has worked well for them historically this season? Getting pressure on the ball quickly. It's not so much that they'll dispossess you, but that pressure forces you to make mistakes when you are in possession of the ball. Number 2, stay organized, limit mistakes in the back, try and keep possession. You just don't want this to be close going down the end. And finally, finish strong. You've got one job tonight, get the W, and then you become a massive fan of whoever Racing Louisville ends up playing the next couple days here, and really just hope you secure that playoff spot.
So we're underway here inside of the Community Health Network Event Center here on the Grand Park Sports Campus. And already Indy 11 playing the possession game early on, which has certainly been one of their staples all season long as they try to set something up here in the attacking third of Toledo Villa. Working the middle here is Mackenzie Kruer, a standout volleyball player at Roncalli in her high school days as well, along with specializing in the sport of soccer. Here's the cross inside, and it's going to be cleared out here by Villa.
Great early cross, great service from the 11 there. Sahaki trying to get free there, but a good early test into the box.
DiMartino tries to work it inside here to Brecht, and now back and forth between she and DiMartino. She'll cross it right in front, and it's going to be headed back out again here, but still DiMartino tracking the ball down. She is having a lot of hustle here in the early going.
Yeah, I would expect DiMartino and Chloe Brecht on that right side to really combine moving forward. We saw Chloe Brecht getting forward a lot the last game here at home, and I would expect that to continue down that right side.
Again, Indy 11 looking to get back into the playoffs here in the USLW League, champions of the whole league back in 2013, which was certainly a very pivotal year for this organization a few years ago.
Yeah, that was an excellent team, a really exciting run to follow. Coincided right along with some World Cup hype as well, and really just an exciting time, you know, striving to get back to that position as a free kick here in a dangerous area.
Reese Sohaki and Taylon Guthrie standing over the ball right now, two players who certainly know how to score the ball when given the opportunity. It'll be Sohaki to send it in, and nobody home on the header as the ball will trickle out past the goal line, and it'll be a goal kick here for Toledo.
Really good first opportunity there. The ball maybe a little bit deeper than where you wanted it to go, but a great flight from Reese Sohaki there on the restart. A nice early ball in, just testing Sluss in that back line.
So as the ball trickles out of bounds, this portion of the match brought to you by Indiana Members Credit Union. Of course, show your support with Indy 11 Pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. I myself am a carrier of an IMCU Indy 11 debit card. I certainly get a lot of comments every time I use it.
Well, yeah, I am a former Jaguar card holder of IMCU as well back in the day.
Indy 11 working the ball in the midfield here as Chloe Brecht will work it ahead here to Guthrie. Guthrie tries to find DiMartino. Excellent ball crossed inside and it nearly taken in there. You had Nikki Jadoin as well as Sohaki trying to run in there on that one, but an easy play there for Sluss.
It's a good sneak behind that back line there by DiMartino, and a nice ball played, well timed. It keeps her on side. Again, just a nice job down the right side, trying to find something to break that first stranglehold.
And here you see DiMartino kind of playing the attacking midfielder, so to speak, here on the near side of the pitch. Sent into the middle with Sohaki along with Guthrie. Guthrie with the long ball to the far side of the pitch. And now taken here by Emma Johnson. Working ahead now is Johnson. Off the feed here from Brooklyn Lee. Johnson crosses it inside, trying to find DiMartino, but it's going to be picked up here by Sluss right there in the 6.
Great example early on there. Emma Johnson, what she can do with the ball, just almost feels like she's got it on a string off of her foot. Pulls it back. The way she moves, too, sends defenders the wrong way. just really a nice glimpse of why she has been highlighted so much on the national stage lately.
Johnson in the middle. Good fake out on the defender as she pushes the ball ahead. And there is a big run coming into the corner by Jadoin. Jadoin crosses it back to DiMartino into the attacking 18 and crossing it inside. Nobody home again. And you certainly love the ball movement that the 11 are showing right now. Just nobody quite in the right spot there in front of the goal.
Yeah, just looking for that final finish there. Doing what they've done, though. Doing a nice job of possessing. I like that they played a little bit more direct going forward early on in the first few minutes here, but we'll expect to see a lot more of those crosses. Obviously, that one a little high. Probably see some more driven, a little bit lower as well. Risa Hockey, great at hunting goals in that area as well.
This portion of the match brought to you by Desnuda 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. Again, working in the middle is Indy 11. With some space as Chloe Breck goes right on goal, but just crosses up top and out of play that time. You certainly love that bold strategy right there from about 30 yards out, unloading it right on goal.
Yeah, absolutely. You take another look, a great strike. They've got the space. Why not? That doesn't even go ballooning over, not far by much. A great recognition there by Breck, though. She's got the space. They're not going to pressure her on the ball that deep out. Might as well have a rip. Sluss, though, doing a nice job, staying on her line, ready to cover that if it does dip down.
Chloe Breck showing why she was a third-team All-Big East player at Butler in 2025. As Emma Johnson working in a lot of traffic as finally Toledo showing a little bit of possession before it's taken right back here by Indy. DiMartino pushes into the middle. There is Kruer. Coming back into the middle. And now off onto the near side here with Brecht. Brecht has some space, gets onto the 18. Tries to cross with a left foot. On the follow-up that time was Guthrie, but it's deflected out of play.
Another great run by Brecht in there with the ball, and that's what's so nice about that back line that they've got between Lee, Kruer, Mills, all this whole group. It allows players like Brecht and Lee on the left side there to really get up, get involved in the attack. You know, when Toledo's going to put 8 players behind the ball, which is what they've been doing early on, yeah, probe that space, dribble with the ball, attack the open areas, make them stop you. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot more of those shots on goal.
Here's a little bit of an opportunity now for Toledo. A little bit too close for comfort that time as you saw the attacker come up there. I believe that was Zeisloft who had the hard run that time. And now Indy 11 moving back into the middle with Lee. Lee gets tripped up. Here's an attack now by the girls in blue. That was Abby Mills who gets her pocket picked in the midfield. Here's an opportunity now. This is Aubrey Clark of Toledo, but it's quickly foiled.
Great recovery there by Jadoin. Just comes back, wins the ball, says, all right, let's stop this now. A good job, and again, they're just so good at playing in these different areas of the field, whether on offense or defense.
Steal in the middle by Toledo, stolen right back by Indy 11. This is Johnson pushing it over now to Brecht. Brecht with a good feed to DiMartino and loses the handle on that. It'll be a corner kick here for Indy 11, their first of the ball game.
Early on, you love what you're seeing offensively. A lot of pressure on this back line, on this goalkeeper. And again, like we said, if they're going to play a defensive game, try and put a lot of players behind the ball. It's that constant pressure over and over and over again. Eventually, you're going to find that breakthrough. A good opportunity here on this corner, though.
So entering the 10th minute here of this first half. Crossed over. Nobody home. DiMartino tries the follow-up. Not quite there for the defense. And it'll be pushed out of bounds, and it will be Indy 11 throw-in on the far sideline, at least at the moment. We'll see what the whistle is here. And it will still be a throw-in, and they're going to award...
I think we got a corner, maybe.
They're going to award a corner here to Indy 11 on the other side. This will be Reese Sohaki doing the honors from the opposite end of the pitch.
Right foot should be an in-swinger here. Matt Kruer probably the targeting in on this one.
Sohaki lobs this one up. Batted around a little bit. Hits the pitch and cleared out by Toledo Villa. Still, though, it has been all Indy 11 on the possession. Very rarely has Toledo been able to get anything going in the attacking third.
Yeah, you've seen little glimpses of speed, especially from that top player there, Clark there right in front. A lot of speed chasing down that ball. And again, that goes back to our keys to the game. Staying organized, doing the simple things correct, just to make sure you keep things clean and get this W.
Abby Mills working on the near sideline with Chloe Brecht. And resetting things now here is Kruer. Here is Guthrie, pushing ahead, trying to find Sohaki right there at that center striker spot. Toledo have her well corned off at the moment, as here's a cross now from Brecht, trying to get off the rebound. There is Sohaki, and she tries to bust it free to Guthrie.
Guthrie can hit from there. We saw
she almost pulled the trigger.
She's buried one from there, further out, and almost scored one off a kickoff earlier this season.
Here is Brecht. Just off the corner of the 18, has some space. Cross over the middle again, nobody home for Indy 11. As Nikki Jadoin will track this down into the far corner. Batted around again, and unable to make solid contact there is Johnson. DiMartino from the defender spot tries to push it ahead to Sohaki. Just a little bit off target that time with that ball.
Yeah, one of the things defensively that Villa FC is doing is just forcing them to play in a tighter space. So that line tries to creep up, and that's kind of a bit of the missed timing we're seeing early on, is there's just not the space and time that the 11 are used to having on some of those runs forward.
Brecht tries to get it to DiMartino, a little bit too much of a run there. And a throw in here for Toledo Villa FC. Here's DiMartino. Up top, Guthrie lets it fly, and it goes over the crossbar again. The second time that has happened this evening for Indy 11.
Yeah, it looks like they got a deflection there. Take another look. Again, right on that right foot, and I think it did take, deflection off the defender, so they'll be rewarded with the corner. But that is Guthrie's sweet spot there. If you can find her some space right around the 18, a little bit deeper, man, she can put some power on the ball.
Certainly love the aggression shown here by the girls in blue here in the early going.
Absolutely. You want to keep the pressure on offensively and defensively.
So Hockey lets it fly again. Header in! Score! How about that one for Indy 11?
Finally, all the attacking pressure coming forward. You get the breakthrough, a nice corner played, and no surprise at all. It's Matt Kruer, the target here. You take a look. I think she got a head on it.
That was definitely a header off of Matt Kruer. Beautiful ball sent in here by Sohaki.
Yeah, that's such a good ball, and that in-swing coming back just makes it easy enough for Kruer to get in the middle there. A nice glancing header. Well, heck, if Reese Sohaki isn't scoring them, she might as well be assisting the goals as well.
Either way, it is 1-0 Indy 11. So far, so good as far as what they have to do for their aspirations of a playoff spot later on. We'll try and get a score of the Racing Louisville-Dayton match as soon as it's available. Again, Indy 11 need Racing Louisville to either draw or lose to Dayton Dutch Lions in a game that is happening right now as this one plays out.
Yeah, they played a tight one earlier on this week too. I mean, this is not a Racing Louisville team that has, run away with the league and blown everyone out. Nope, the Indy 11 have beat them a few times, and then you look at the score earlier this week. It was 2-1, a tight game. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we see a draw coming out of one of these next 2 games.
Second goal of the season for Matt Kruer. Also the second assist of the season by Reese Sohaki, coming off of that corner kick, as here is a dangerous ball inside, nearly taken by Toledo, but Emily Edwards able to get her paws on that one.
Yeah, Edwards, one thing she's done and she's done a lot of things really well, but one thing I love about the way she plays keeper is she's almost like that 11th field player for you. The way she positions, the way she plays is almost a sweeper keeper with her feet. The technical ability that she has, that's something that, when I was coming up and people before me, you were a goalkeeper and that was it. As soon as they figured out you could catch the ball, you were in keeper training, forget about the feet. And so from there, the fact that she's a complete soccer player, it just goes, towards showing how far the sport has progressed, but 2, how athletic and more than just a keeper that Emily Edwards is.
Into the middle come Toledo. Trying to put some possession together here is Villa. Knowing the pressure is on now, they don't want to be certainly the victims of a clean sweep this season of Indy 11 again. Indy 11 have a 2-0 advantage on the series this season as they try to work back into the middle. This portion of the match brought to you by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Working the middle of the 17th minute now as Toledo will have an opportunity on the far sideline. Indy 11 coach Brandon Kim in his 2nd year leading the side, and so far has really been able to put his staple on the brand of soccer that he wants this Indy 11 women's squad to have. Yeah,
and you really hope that this team makes that postseason, because the job that Coach Brandon Kim has done, he deserves it in his 2nd season here. I mean, the amount of good soccer that we've seen this team play, especially the last month or so, just been really impressive. I mean, scoring goals every which way, midfielders, defenders, everyone's involved. There's not really a drop-off when you go to make these substitutions. We talk about Notre Dame, Louisville, all of these high-class Division I schools that are represented on this team.
Here's a good ball coming in now for Indy 11. Unable to really get a foot on that one was Nikki Jadoin. That was a very good ball sent in that time off of the foot of Abby Mills. Working the middle now is Guthrie. Back off to Brecht again. And now Brooklyn Lee working up top now with Guthrie again. Guthrie lets it go, and she'll just send this one out the back of the goal line. So Indy 11 unable to get some organization right there. Of course, one of your keys to the game is be organized today. Not a lot of that right there on that particular take.
Not quite offensively, organization. I like to think of the offensive side, you got to have a lot of creativity, right? You can't be predictable. You've got to keep the defensive line on their toes as far as which way you're going to go, where we're going to extend the field. Defensively, though, that's where the organization comes in critically. When you talk about some of these drop passes, some of the field switches that you're relying on Emily Edwards to complete, they've got to be precise passes. You've got to have people in the spots that they need to be. Otherwise, you look at the turnovers, and almost every goal the 11 have conceded this season has been from self-inflicted mistakes. So the be organized part is just, play the way you know how to play. Don't make silly mistakes.
Here's a good ball, getting it to Brecht on the near sideline, trying to attack on the 18. Brecht with a left foot on the scooting cross, does not quite get to Guthrie right in front of the net, and it's cleared out by Toledo. And I have to say here, Kristen, early on, again, this is my first game for Indy 11 here this season. I am really impressed by just the tenacity that Chloe Brecht plays with, as here's a rolling shot going to be picked up right there by Sluss.
Yeah, Chloe Brecht is, an excellent player. Coach St. John at Butler's going to be very happy to have her coming back this season. You mentioned a Big East player this past season, and I'll tell you what, she has done it all season, Kurt. This right side of the field has been just her area 100%. She can beat you down the line with the ball at her foot. She makes the creative runs, and the most impressive part to me as a former goalkeeper is she gets back on defense, and she makes those tackles as well when needed.
I would imagine being a former goalkeeper gives her a whole new perspective of the field whenever she's actually out there on the rest of the pitch.
Sure.
Again, playing in that defender spot at the moment, although you've seen her move up into that attacking mid position all night long as we approach the 20th minute of this first half.
And that's been a great feature of this 11 squad the entire season, is the way they've gotten both sides.
Here's a ball coming up inside, trying to get it to DiMartino, but instead, Sluice will come down with that one and save that attack for Toledo.
And this is an interesting move here by Toledo, trying to play small out of the back, which again, that pressure, when you have that many players back, you're going to have that many 11 players right there ready to put pressure on the ball as well.
This is Avery Zeisloft wearing the captain's band for Toledo here this evening. She tries to push it ahead now to Sadie Walsh, and it gets touched out of bounds by Villa. And a throw in here for Indy 11, taken rather quickly here by Brooklyn Lee. Again, this portion of the match brought to you by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Here is Brecht off the 18. Trying to find some space, unloads with a left foot, and it goes right into the hands of Sluice. An excellent shot taken there by Chloe Brecht.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. We see her outside on the right a lot. I love that time, though. Gets it inside, a nice left-footed shot there. Put some spin on it.
Score update from Racing Louisville Dayton Dutch Lions. Dayton 2, Racing Louisville 1 in the 11th minute.
Ooh.
So far, so good for Indy 11 here this evening.
You love that scoreline, but you got to wonder. 3 goals in the first 11 minutes. Might not be a lot of defense being played down there.
I would tend to agree with you, my friend. As here's a loose ball into the attacking third. At Guthrie, neither Sohaki ever able to come track it down. And so Avery Sluice has certainly had her hands full this evening. The Indiana Wesleyan Wildcat, NAIA second team All-American for the Wildcats this season. So she has certainly proven herself as a capable goalkeeper there up in Marion.
I'll tell you what, we, speaking of Marion, I have the pleasure of doing some Marion women's soccer games in the fall.
With an A.
Yes, and I knew I recognized Avery's name from somewhere, but when I looked it up, I was like, holy
Here's an attack coming for Indy 11. Shot goes over the crossbar. A little bit too much juice on that one from Nikki Jadoin.
I'm impressed she stayed on side there.
I was expecting the flag to come up from the near line judge, but it did not happen.
I tell you what, though, Nikki Jadoin has been a bright spot as we take another look. Yeah, I can't quite see when it was struck. She's probably even. I mean, the sideline ref has been on it all evening, but another Louisville player, Jadoin is, that came in, and I mean, she played almost every single game as a freshman down there for the Cardinals, and a team that is consistently ranked in the top 25 in the country. So, you know, you talk about a offensive firepower, Jadoin just adds to that.
Brecht with the left foot goes over to DiMartino. She puts the right boot into it, trying to cross it to no avail right in front of the goalkeeper, who lets it sail out of play. Goal kick again coming for Sluice.
And she's hanging tough. You know, we talked about earlier, a lot of pressure going to be put on this back line as well as the keeper Sluice, but Indiana Wesleyan is an NAIA soccer powerhouse as well, right up there with the Marion women. So anytime those two play, it is a fantastic match, and Sluice had some impressive saves in this past year.
In fact, in the 20 matches that she played for the Wildcats this past season, she had 11 clean sheets.
Yeah.
That is a very good ratio.
Yeah. And that's not just, you know, I always look at that shutout, and what it tells me more than just the keeper is good is that the back line, the keeper, everyone is on the same page defensively. Like, yes, keepers can make saves here and there, but as a whole, if your defense is playing the best it can, if you're organized, if you're communicating, that shows me you're going to get a shutout.
Here's an opportunity for Indy 11 in the middle third. Coming across the middle. And back to the outside now with Kruer. Here is Brecht. Working it over to DiMartino. whistle and a free kick for Indy 11.
Yeah, they try and go quick there, but with Guthrie on the ball, I'm thinking that's within her range.
Brecht with some space, one-on-one with the defender, tries to go with the left foot again, can't quite squeak it in the inside corner, and it goes out of play.
One thing you're noticing here, and especially these last couple times down with Brecht, the spaces are opening up. There's more windows around the 18 there. Chloe's doing a nice job the last 2 times, taking advantage of that. Have a rip, why not? But that's just a part of the fatigue now you're starting to see from Toledo having to defend with 8 players the entire first half so far.
Bouncing around in the middle, Kruer tries to win possession. She does not. An opportunity for Indy 11, but Kruer is able to avenge that one right there. And Abby Mills coming in as well with that. You saw that very nifty footwork by Aubrey Clark of Toledo, but you saw Mills just in the nick of time able to give Emily Edwards some help.
Yeah, a little bit of a nervy moment there, but a good recovery by Mills at the end. Good save, but those are the moments there where, you know, it's the stay organized, it's to do the simple things simple. There's a time to keep and a time to boot.
Johnson rolls it ahead now to Jadoin. Jadoin fires, and it goes a little bit off the mark that time from the left side of the 18. Indy 11 working on the run quite frequently now.
And I love how every time they come in possession of the ball, it's not a panic, right? And that's kind of what you're going to see Toledo Villa fall into, and we've seen a few times, is when you don't see a lot of the ball throughout a half, when you do get the ball, it's almost a panic. It's a, we got to do something, we got to move it quick. The 11, they don't fall into that, but they can switch it very quickly from just possessing to going forward on the attack.
Kruer using that height to win possession for Indy. As Brecht will work it back over to Mills. And cross the field now to Lee. Brooklyn Lee getting some space, finds Sohaki off the one touch, now to Jadoin. Jadoin working back and forth with Johnson. Johnson juggles possession on the far sideline before it's won back by Toledo. Aubrey Clark trying to track it down now for Villa, but it's touched back into the goalkeeper's feet by Kruer, and they will reset Will Indy.
You can see the speed up top there from Clark for Toledo Villa. Those are the moments where you know she can hop onto one.
Here's a good ball ahead now. Coming on is Indy 11. Cross back to Sohaki on the header, just off the mark. Off the rebound comes Brecht, and it goes off the side of the upright.
Another chance there, and you felt like Chloe Brecht was almost going to sneak in there on that far side. Just a little bit outside of the frame there, but a good run there. You see Jadoin combining with Lee. Lee doesn't get in the box all that often. He gets off a pretty decent cross from there.
Again, Brooklyn Lee, a midfielder by trade, but has been playing on the back line for most of this match. And that's certainly one thing that you see a lot of in this particular brand of soccer, where you have a lot of different players who may specialize in a specific position on their regular sides during their college or high school teams. But when you come here, you can be playing any position for Brandon Kim.
Absolutely, and Coach Kim does a nice job of recognizing what works well within his system. If his system needs to change based on his players, he's a good enough coach to realize when changes need to be made. And, you know, you see that a lot, especially in a club situation where, you know, Brooklyn Lee might play forward somewhere. Well, we're going to put her in this outside defender role because, as you just saw, we expect her to get involved with the attack. But at the same time, she clearly can defend as well. You'll see those speedier, sometimes more attacking-minded players on the outside of those back lines.
Brooklyn Lee, the University of Louisville Cardinal, playing here for Indy 11 in the summertime. Now we work on the middle third here with the throw-in for Toledo. Stolen away here by Brecht. Excellent footwork there. As Indy 11 again regain the possession. They have dominated time of possession in this match so far as we enter the 30th minute. Working in the middle. Here comes Indy 11 in the middle as we get a feed inside. Here's DiMartino working inside, tripped up in the penalty area. Do we have a penalty? The official saying no dice. It was a play on the ball. DiMartino trying to plead her case with this one, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's probably had a fair shout for it. You know, a lot of those calls are 50-50. Oh, she might get a card here. Yeah.
And she does. Yellow card issued to DiMartino.
Yeah. Taking a look at that replay, I think Riley's got a decent shout here. Let's see if you can see the tackle. It looked like from the other, yeah, she just took her leg. She didn't get any of the ball. I understand. I would also be upset after that one.
It was awfully close.
Yeah, I will tell you what was really impressive though was DiMartino made that run laterally instead of vertically, and that is what kept her onside.
Trying to avenge it now. Here comes Sohaki, shot on goal and a save by Sluice. Wasting no time. Our Indy 11 taking advantage of the stoppage.
Good pickup, tries to go right to goal, just not a ton of space on the near post there.
Brooklyn Lee airs this one into the middle, trying to hit Sohaki. She does so, who now gets it back to Guthrie. Guthrie back to Lee, has a lot of space. She's going to take it herself. Here comes Brooklyn Lee from the top of the 18 off to DiMartino. Gets a foot into it though, does Toledo. Whistle and a free kick coming for Indy 11 in a really, really precarious spot.
Wow.
This portion of the match brought to you by your local Central Indiana Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today.
Yeah, very dangerous spot here. They play the advantage at first, and then she pulls it back for the free kick. You know, walk off the 10 yards here, and there is a bevy of Indy 11 players around the ball trying to debate who's going to be taking this one. There's not really a bad group, a bad pick in that group. I'll tell you what. Any of these ladies could put it in.
Guthrie, Jadoin, and Sohaki standing over this ball, sitting about 25 yards off goal. It'll be Sohaki, goes right into the Toledo wall, and we play on. Here's Jadoin, pushing it over to the left side. Here is a play in for the ball. This time it's taken again. And DiMartino will come away with it off of the errant ball. Cross inside along the dirt again. Here comes Brecht trying to make a play on it. Brecht right along the end line. And she will push this one back out here to Taylin Guthrie. Ball inside again. Nobody home again as you had many players trying to just locate the ball in the confusion.
They're doing a nice job here of recycling after each of those chances, though. You've seen them come back twice already with another chance.
Long ball to Lee. Just missed on the header. Trying to track it down as Jadoin. She just keeps it in play. And Brooklyn Lee will try to reset things here on the Indy 11 possession. Cross into the penalty area. With some space is Brecht trying that left foot. No, again, she goes back to the right. Here is Brecht being harassed. Cross inside. Nothing there. Johnson up top to Sohaki. Sohaki back to Johnson. Johnson fires and goes up, and it's going to be taken off the deflection from the Toledo defender and into the hands of Sluice.
Not sure they
so
were
many
passing
opportunities
it,
right there.
Yeah, a lot of numbers in the box there. Impressive work to just kind of pass around. You see Johnson here with the fancy footwork, and it's probably going to be a decent opportunity until it takes that deflection there.
Sohaki off the one touch, gets it to Jadoin along the far sideline. Jadoin with a right foot, cross inside. Sohaki tries to come away with the rebound. It's going to be pushed out, and it will be a corner kick for the girls in blue.
Tell you what, we've got an excellent crowd out here for the season finale. I know we had a piece on Emma Johnson airing on the local news this week, so hopefully that brought some World Cup fever into the Drop Light Grand Park Sports Complex here, and so far so good.
Also should make mention after this play coming in here from Sohaki, it's a low corner, and it hits into the back of the net.
Emma.
And how about that? Emma Johnson off the deflection from the in ball from Sohaki. 2-0 Indy 11.
Another poacher's goal there. Emma Johnson in the right place, the right time, makes that near post run. It's another great ball by Sohaki, just bounces at the right time. I think that's all you need sometimes, just that little deflection. Gets her near post beat there, and hey, assist number 2 on the night for Sohaki.
That goes right off the sole of the shoe there for Johnson, and it goes into the back of the net. Johnson now getting her 3rd goal of the season, and mind you, fresh off of her stint with the US U20 team, which she hopes to be a part of for the U20 Women's World Cup coming up here a little bit later on this year.
It wouldn't surprise me. She got some good minutes over there in Spain with them at this last training camp. None of those spots really set into stone just yet, but she set herself up for a great run at it. You know, she'll continue to play throughout the season. Obviously on the USL is great experience, but she's one of those players that soccer is about all she does. Eat, sleep, and breathe.
Johnson into the middle again, feeds it ahead to DiMartino. Johnson back to Sohaki. Instead, it's going to be taken by Jadoin before she gets her pocket picked, and it's taken back into the middle here by Villa. Nobody home here for Toledo as Indiana. Indy 11 will reset the possession. Here comes Johnson into the middle, taken back in here by Lee.
Yeah, that's always going to be the issue Toledo Villa has going forward there, is with how hard they're defending. They cannot transition quickly into the attack, and right now Indy 11's backline just doing a nice job of picking that up, settling things, and going right back the other way.
This portion of the match brought to you by Desnuda. Desnuda 100% organic tequila, how tequila tastes. Talk about this attack, this kind time from Jadoin, and it doesn't quite go on target there as Sluice able to make the handle on that.
Yeah, and another brilliantly timed run there by Jadoin. She does such a great job of just knowing where that last defender is, staying horizontal with him, and then breaking forward once that ball is struck. And that time leaves herself wide open, but a great save by Sluss.
Here's an opportunity for Toledo. This is Clark trying to find somebody to cross it to. Her only option would have been Sadie Walsh, the midfielder turned striker here for this particular match. And it'll be a goal kick coming now for Emily Edwards. And before the kick goes away here, we have an injured player down on the Indy 11 goal line. It looks like this is Aubrey Clark, who again had a really hard run that time to that end of the field and got tangled up in the defense there, I believe, with Matt Kruer among a couple other players.
Yeah, definitely just a 50-50 ball there. Nothing necessarily dirty about that tackle at all. Just a hard tackle, and hey, sometimes people go flying down the end line when that happens.
Again, at last check, Dayton Dutch Lions and Racing Louisville still at 2-1 in the 11th minute at the last score check. We'll have an update for you on that match as soon as it becomes available. Again, Indy 11 needing Racing Louisville to either draw or lose to Dayton Dutch Lions. And if the result holds here as it stands now, Indy 11 up 2-0, they would be in the USLW League playoffs as champions of the Valley Division.
Yeah, always a tough situation to be in when you know there's that game simultaneously going on, could dictate a lot of what happens here. You know, it's always that debate of, do we pay attention? Do we just take care of business, deal with it afterwards?
I mean, you know Brandon Kim very well.
Yeah.
What would you say, that he is a scoreboard watcher or just task at hand right now?
Yeah, I think he'll be aware. I think he'll be aware. You know, whether or not he shares that scoreline with the players, that's kind of the strategy part of it, right? I think at this point you're 2-0. I think you're just emphasizing at half, hey, let's go out, let's finish the job, and what happens, happens. And that's kind of all you can do at this point.
Minute number 40 as Indy 11 try to push the issue again. This is Dardano trying to get inside, cross up a little bit too much cross that time as it bounces just this side of the end line. DiMartino going to let this one fly out of bounds, and it will be a throw in here for Indy 11. Here is Brecht with the left foot, trying to cross it there to Sohaki. And it gets poked back out here with some space for Abby Mills. Taylon Guthrie gives it to Johnson. Johnson with some help from DiMartino. She tries to cross it, has a little bit of help. An excellent ball back inside. Shot and save by Sluice on the attack off of the follow-up there from, that was Jadoin hitting Johnson, and Johnson couldn't connect with the left foot.
Yeah, it's a great layoff there by Jadoin. Knows that Johnson's going to be coming free behind her, and a nice little layoff. Johnson, I mean, to her credit, does a nice job of trying to place that, just not quite out of the reach there of Avery Sluss.
This portion of the match brought to you by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
I think Johnson Controls just needs to sponsor Emma Johnson. Emma Johnson controls the game.
You know what? It's too perfect.
It is. Call me. Johnson Controls.
That was well done, by the way.
Thank you.
Here is Aubrey Clark getting a little help now here from Allison Peckham. Cross inside, trying to hit it up to Sadie Walsh. Nothing there for Toledo Villa. And Johnson working every corner of the pitch right now, was able to come away with the possession. Here is a 3-on-1 opportunity now by DiMartino. DiMartino, a one-on-one, loses the defender, tries to get the ball back, creates some space, and now has some help from Brecht. Brecht back to DiMartino, crosses inside, and an easy handle there by Sluice.
And she has hung in there tough. Sluice has, again, just looking fairly comfortable in that box. You know, obviously giving up 2 goals, but still hanging in there, making some solid saves against a really tough attack here from the 11.
Well, we got some bad news for Emma Johnson. That last goal, deemed an own goal.
Oh, they own goal it?
It was an own goal.
All right.
The goal still counts,
well, yeah.
which is what really matters. Unfortunately, Emma Johnson still with 2 goals to her credit on the season. Heck of an effort, though, by Emma Johnson to at least get in position to create that opportunity. But it is an own goal by Toledo Villa on that second goal of the game here for Indy 11.
There's very few moments when a goal is 100% the defender's fault. Like, I mean, you know, the defender doesn't knock that into the goal if Emma Johnson isn't right there putting the pressure on, making her do something with the ball. So, you know what? In my heart, she has 3 goals on the season.
Johnson has still a lot of opportunities to at least get that 3rd goal back. Some tough play here by Brecht on the sure-footedness there of Avery Zeisloft. And it'll be a free kick here for Toledo Villa.
This is the moments where you just, again, need to focus in, because what you're going to see here, free kick, they're going to push more defenders up than you've seen all, or more attackers up than you've seen all half in this situation.
Score update from the Racing Louisville Dayton Dutch match. It is all knotted up at 2 apiece in the 40th minute. Again, still a good result for Indy 11 if that stands right now. However, makes it an ever slimmer margin that the 11 have to work with here should that match end up going the way that they do not want it to go.
And right there, that's an example of when I think of, okay, do we give the players a score or not? Like, what if, they knew it's 2-1, and you come in, now you're 2-2. What does that do to your level of play? What does that do to your mental, focus as far as what's happening on the pitch in front of you?
Well, it's a good thing they're not watching our broadcast live. Here's a good ball coming up from Brecht with some space. Brecht tries to feed it to Guthrie. Taken back here by Toledo. Through the legs of Brecht comes the free ball. And working it around the horn is Mills. And into the middle now with Dodano. Here's an excellent ball here to Lee. Offside, though, is the call. The flag goes up on the near line judge. Lee just a little bit in an offside position off of a beautiful pass coming up there in the middle.
I wish I was paying attention on that side to see how she got so far up there. But, you know, we'll give her a pass for being offsides on that. Not often is she trying to stay onside, so that ball running forward. All right, here we go. Yeah, she just is up there. That's tight, though, because that ball is played way, way back. Great camera work.
Just on the offside position there was Lee. As we come up on stoppage time here in this match. And it will be 2 extra minutes. 2 extra minutes on the clock here in this first half. So a little extra time now here for Toledo to try and put one on the board before the halftime period. Coming up here is Walsh. Walsh gets her pocket picked there by Kruer. And now coming back is Guthrie in some space.
Such a well-timed tackle back there in the box. Mills does a nice job of just wait until that touch is a little heavy and then just a poke. You don't have to worry about a foul. You don't have to go in and tackle. Just great patient defending there by Abby Mills in that back.
So to recap the scoring, early on in the match, it was Matt Kruer who had the header off of a set piece from Reese Sohaki, and then it followed up by what was nearly a goal by Emma Johnson, but instead was scored an own goal in the middle part of the half to make it 2-0 here to Indy 11.
Or give that second goal to Sohaki, you know? She's the one that played it in off the other player.
Technically the last one to touch it. There you go.
Ooh,
into the second minute. Oh, a missed ball here by Emily Edwards, and it's going to be a big, big goal here by Toledo Villa. That is Sadie Walsh, who comes up and takes advantage of the miscue by Emily Edwards in goal. And Kristen Hazley, I imagine that you can feel her pain right now as a former goalkeeper yourself.
Yeah, you know, we've all clearly, obviously made mistakes throughout our career. That one's a tough one. And, you know, it's what we talk about pregame. You've got to do the simple things. You've got to stay organized. You've got to stay checked in. That time, you've just got to know there where I can clear it, when I can't, when I can take a touch. And, you know, just a heartbreaking time to come right here before the halftime whistle. Really going to change things going into the locker room.
So that is the whistle for halftime. As your score going in to the halftime period, it is Indy 11-2, Toledo Villa FC 1. Back in a moment on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
Owning a home can be complicated.
Why?
Oops.
How am I gonna explain this to your mother? She hasn't even been gone 2 hours.
You know what? I'm just gonna call him.
Pros for over 80 years.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation. And the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of 4 boys. So I have 3 older brothers that, you know, they were really involved with sports, and they all played soccer as well. So I think the first story I got of me in soccer was watching my older brother's games, and my mom chasing me around on the sidelines, and you know, me kicking a ball up and down, wanting to play. And I just remember after that just being put into, you know, a rec league, and I fell in love with it. And I think that's, I don't know, I was 3 years old, and ever since then it just kept playing and playing. And it's a funny story that, you know, I just kind of grew up with a ball. High school was a really good experience, getting to play with my friends from my hometown. I'm not from the biggest hometown. I went to school in Stevensville, which I don't think anybody's heard of that. I went to Lakeshore High School, but grew up around St. Joseph, Benton Harbor area. But that was a really cool experience. So the recruitment process was different for me than I think a lot of other people. Some other people get to play at USL academies or MLS academies, and they might get more exposure. But my dad was actually my coach growing up, and he did a really good job of getting his coaching license and getting kids in the area together and developing athletic and soccer skills that we could compete at a high level, which helped a few of us get recruited into college. So from that in high school, I ended up going to a bigger club in Kalamazoo, played for Kalamazoo Kingdom. That's where I got a lot of exposure and playing in front of college scouts. And you know, I think all it takes is one good game and one good moment for someone to be interested, and that's kind of how it happened for me. I played really, really well in front of some important people, and got my my college recruitment. The whole experience is just like probably my favorite thing ever. Getting to play at Western, I think that the program allows you to be very passionate and very supportive of the school and the team. Just the friendships that I made and the relationships off the field, in the classrooms and everything was just, it was just really great. I'm only an hour away from Kalamazoo, which is where Western Michigan is at. So it was very family oriented, and I also had my family there to support me. So that was great. I also got to play with a pretty good friend, Charlie Sharp, and I think we are now roommates for 5 years. So I don't know if he's getting sick of me yet, but it's been, that was a fun experience getting to play with him and getting to play with him now. I always wanted to play professional soccer. I mean, I think every kid should have a dream and a goal in life like that. And ever since I was little, I wanted to play soccer and play after college. So I think I was just taking it one step at a time. I think first was to play good enough in youth leagues and in high school to get recruited to a good college. And then, you know, we had a really good college team, made, you know, multiple NCAA tournament appearances, made it to the Sweet 16. So from there, it was play good enough in college to set yourself up to go pro. I ended up taking a COVID year because during my sophomore season, it was shortened. So I took an extra year, and I think that really helped me develop and allowed me to be very, very successful and get a lot of attention from, you know, next level scouts. So from there, it was a lot of fun getting to go through that experience, you know, to have teams to reach out to you, agents to reach out to you. And it is a whole different world than youth soccer and college soccer. So it was a bit of a learning curve, but yeah, that process was a lot of fun. I got to, I guess, talk to multiple people and get their opinions and make the best decision for myself, yeah. Charlotte FC is a great organization, great staff, and I think they helped me progress my game. I enjoyed being there for 2 years, and I got to be around the first team a little bit, and I think it was just a really good experience for me. But it's a little bit different. I think it's a younger team, younger league. And there's a lot of opportunities for kids or players, you know, to move up. So I was very, very happy with my experience. Yeah, this was my first, I guess, free agent transfer window after starting professional soccer. So I was very excited to get the call. It was a good call, and telling my parents afterwards, they were excited. I get to be a little bit close to home. I think playing professional soccer is about 2.5 hours from my house. So that was very exciting. And I also thought that the opportunity here was very exciting. And just very happy to be here. Oh, this has been everything I could have asked for. Getting to do some of the team events and getting out into the community has been a lot of fun. We got to go to a practice day at the Indy 500. I think that's a staple for Indianapolis residents. Just the shoot around at Butler. There's a lot of things that the club has provided for us to meet the fans. And I forgot the jersey reveal. We got to meet a lot of the season ticket holders, which I thought was a great experience because I hadn't had that yet. So to meet the people that are coming to the games every week and cheering us on, and they know your name and they want to talk to you and they want to tell you, good job or good game. It was a really good experience, and I've loved every second of it so far. It feels like I'm an adult finally,
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
Across the globe, billions share one passion, soccer. And here in the Hoosier State, that passion belongs to the Indy 11. Fast-paced action, electric crowds, and a team that represents Indiana every time they step on the field.
Make it 7 for Bruno Rendon. Chance to cue the smoke in Indianapolis.
Indy 11, the world's game, Indiana's team. Secure your seats today at Indy11.com.
Let's take a look at some first half highlights here of this match between Indy 11 and Toledo Villa FC here on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network. Kristen Hazley, Kurt Darling with you. Kristen, what can you see here as there was a lot of aggression shown by Indy 11 in that first 45?
Yeah, if you've been watching the 11 all season, you won't be surprised to hear that Risa Hockey was involved in both first half goals. And there was also Chloe Brecht doing amazing things down that right side, what we've seen all season long. And again, just putting the pressure on this Toledo Villa FC defense and goalkeeper Avery Sluice. Let's take a look there at the quote-unquote own goal scored by Emma Johnson. And then it was just, at the end of the end of the half, just a disappointing letdown there, a tough, sloppy goal you hate to see given up. As we take a look there, you just got to get either one touch and out or two touch and go. But, great job by Toledo Villa FC to hop onto that. And really, those are the mistakes that you just have to eliminate to go ahead and finish this W.
By the way, it was told to me by Joe Gentry, Sports Information Director for the Indy 11, that it was a non-VAR review of that own goal for Emma Johnson. So, of course, unfortunately, we do not have the luxury of VAR here at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. But nevertheless, you certainly at least love the effort that you can really see from Emma Johnson to be in that right position to at least get the flick, regardless of if it came off of a defender there to get into the net.
Yeah, Emma Johnson is one of those players that understands the game of soccer about 3 levels higher than everyone else. She knows where the ball is going to go 3 passes ahead probably. Does a nice job of positioning herself in not only the most dangerous position, but she can relocate really quickly to be in an open and supportive position when one of the other forwards gets the ball. All 3 of them that first half, I think, worked off each other. Jadoin Sahaki as well as Johnson. Really, that trio up front, they did well, working off each other, dropping forward, moving forward, dropping back, and also working the sides horizontally.
For those of you paying attention to this match for the interest of the other match going on right now in the Valley Division, in the 47th minute, right before halftime, Dayton Dutch Lions leads 3-2 over Racing Louisville FC. So at the moment, looking good for the Indy 11 and their playoff aspirations coming up here in hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We'll take this final timeout. The second half coming up next here on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Second half about to get underway here at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus inside the Community Health Network Event Center. Alongside Kristen Hazley, I'm Kurt Darling as we get ready for the second half of this contest between Indy 11 and Toledo Villa FC. Playoff aspirations on the line for the girls in blue, as right now it is looking really good for Indy 11 as Dayton Dutch Lions currently lead Racing Louisville FC 3-2 in a match that is going on as we speak down in Louisville. So certainly keeping an eye on that match as we are on this one. Here in this second, 45-2-1 is your score as we have a couple substitutions to highlight, and they're brought to you by Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. Kristen, in for the Indy 11, Ellie Hodgson, of course, who has had a very up and down season, but when she has been up, she has been very up.
She's been, I tell you what, pretty nothing but up since she's made her appearance here for the 11. 3 goals, a hat trick in her premier debut, if you will, a couple weeks ago, and since then she has just been a spark plug off the bench. She showed she can score on a breakaway off crosses. She's just a fun player to watch, and talk about a luxury to bring off the bench.
It appears that she is in for Reese Sohaki, so Sohaki's day is done, as it will be Hodgson now in that attacking middle position, along with the other attackers in Jadoin and Guthrie, who make up that front three here for the girls in blue.
Definitely just another scorer that is good with the ball at her feet, has the pace as well. You see that time, Emily Edwards a little bit more sure-footed there to go with the one touch, and I think that's just the way you've got to operate here in the second half.
Speaking of the one touch, Johnson sends this one ahead to DiMartino, somehow gets the ball back, goes in with a right foot, score! And there is the third goal of the season for Emma Johnson.
How about that combo play? She said, fine, you don't want to give me my first half goal, I'll go score a second half one. Great work there. As you see, she just combines, picks up that layoff, and what an awesome touch there to the right side. Just creates the area there for her to get that shot off, and man, great finish there. Far post, side netting. You can't really ask for anything much more than that.
Well, the first one in the first half got redesignated an own goal, so Emma Johnson making sure that she does get that third goal of the season here in this regular season finale and that makes it 3-1 to Indy 11. So far, so good, as we've been saying all night long for the girls in blue.
Yeah, great way to start off the half. You hate going into the locker room there, conceding, obviously, a little bit of a sloppy goal there. Could have come out and really let that affect them. It's a great dream start. You go out, you get a quick goal. Now you have some breathing room, you feel like, again.
This portion of the match brought to you by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today.
Ooh.
Batting that ball around here in the attacking third is Toledo, and now we have a whistle and a free kick coming just off the 18 for Indy 11, as Emily Edwards will take this one rather quickly to keep things rolling. How much of the World Cup have you been watching here lately?
As much as possible. I mean, look, we all got to work at some point too. So, like, for example, I'll be rewatching the games that are going on right now this evening, but I also do have to sleep sometimes, so.
Of course, we have the game up in front of us right now here. Brazil taking care of Scotland in group play 3-0. So, unfortunately, that's probably going to be the end of the road for the Tartan Army here in the States, but certainly been a fun fan base to follow here as we watch the World Cup play out.
They've been a pleasure to have on U.S. soil, as they say, and yeah, we've got a great view into the Grand Park Drop Light Bar as well on the end there. Got some big screens there playing some World Cup games as well.
The sport of soccer certainly taking off in a big way here of late. Here in the lower 48, as working the ball now, Indy 11. Here is Chloe Brecht trying to work it around a little bit, along with Dodano. Quick throw in back here for Indy 11.
There you go. Good drop. They'll switch it here. But really, I mean, you make a great point about the soccer fever that's kind of going on right now, and you know, areas that usually you're not going to find a lot of soccer hype. You know, Indianapolis, we get big and excited for the World Cups, but especially, you know, with 2 U.S. wins in the group stage, it'll be interesting to see, you know, come tomorrow, how they play that, and then as well, you know, if we do play a second line there, if we draw, what does that do to the excitement, you know?
Well, you have 4 players on a yellow card right now for
Yeah.
the U.S. men's national team, and so I would imagine you're probably going to see a far different lineup for the men here coming up against Turkey tomorrow.
I tell you what, I can remember the last time, so 2010, last time the U.S. men were in the knockout stages, and that was happening the same time as Indiana State Cup here in the here in Indianapolis. I remember having to stay in a hotel in Indianapolis and watching that game right before our state final game. So it's been a second, but I am self-admittedly a men's national team doubter at times. But I can say that I have not seen this side have the kind of quiet, confident, really just belief in themselves from one of the U.S. men's teams in a while.
I certainly don't ding you for the doubting aspect of it, seeing as how over the past 3 decades it has certainly been justified. But to your point, it has certainly been great to see the vigor that Maurizio Pochettino has put into this U.S. men's national team program.
AKA Russell Crowe of soccer.
Meanwhile, Indy 11 women trying to keep things rolling with a 3-1 lead here in the 52nd minute. This is Hodgson. She has a cross, trying to get it up to Jadoin off the top of the crossbar, and it stays in play before it rolls out. Corner kick to Indy 11, and Jadoin comedically frustrated with that one right there, knowing she had an excellent play on the ball off of this service here from Hodgson.
This is so good. The ball from Hodgson, perfectly placed. Sluss honestly just kind of fanning at it. You know, luckily gets a little bit of a deflection there, and yeah, Jadoin wants one bad. She knows that was a golden opportunity. How good is Ellie Hodgson down that side, though? So fast and a brilliant cross right on the mark.
Nikki Jadoin, 2 goals on the season, the native of Massachusetts plays for the Louisville Cardinals along with her teammate Brooklyn Lee on this Indy 11 side. As here is the cross coming in from Johnson, headed up and a little bit off kilter that time, off the head from Hodgson.
Another great ball in. That one just finds its way to the far post. And, you know, there's many different ways you can play a corner. Obviously, we've seen short corners. We can see those floated balls. As we take another look at this one, almost tucks in. She's just got to get a glance on there. Hodgson does. Maybe a little bit of obstruction there. But, you know, great job playing that far post. Sometimes you'll just see it fly over, right? They've done a nice job just placing that ball right there for the picking.
Taylon Guthrie sends it far side to Chloe Brecht, who had a sensational opening half. Put 3 shots on target in the first 45. By the way, Indy 11 out shooting Toledo 6-1 in that opening half. Of course, the only shot that they had on target was the miscue from Emily Edwards in stoppage time at the end of the first half.
And if there's, you know, really one Achilles heel to this Indy 11 women's team, it has been those self-inflicted mistakes. I mean, you look at some of the goals given up, a lot of them come from really Indy 11 turnovers, if you will, and bad spots on the field. So, you know, when we talk pregame about staying organized, finishing the job, those are just those little moments that they just need to try and overcome. And, you know, done a nice job early on in this second half of making sure that what happened in the first half is ancient history.
By the way, this portion of the match brought to you by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Working the ball ahead, again come the 11. That was Brooklyn Lee on the near sideline trying to work the ball with Johnson. Coming back up here is Kruer, getting it back with Johnson. Works the left foot and pushes it ahead to Jadoin, who gets wrestled out of play. And Indy 11 awarded a corner kick.
That's really been all 11 on the front foot since the start of the second half, and that leads me to believe I think there was a little bit of a fire lit in the locker room there by Coach Kim.
Taylon Guthrie leaves it short here this time for Dardano. Crossed inside on the second effort, nothing there among a plethora of players, as it's going to be taken on the singular touch and off the side of the facility here, off the boot from Jadoin. And the goal kick will be taken here by Avery Sluice.
Good little switch up that time. They played the diagonal ball, which allows that different angled ball to go through that back post. You love the idea, love the creativity. And right now, just the fact that the 11 are putting a lot of balls into the 6, really going to wear down that Toledo Villa FC defense.
Well, while we have a moment, Soccer Saturday is presented by Indy 11. Be sure to join us every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with host Greg Rakestraw on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Here's the cross in. Johnson trying to get on the receive that time. Nothing there. And it'll be poked out here by Villa. Brooklyn Lee with the slow hopper. And it's an easy pick in here for Toledo as they put it back into the middle third. Brewer takes it back up again. Lee with some space. Lee with a ton of space here as she moves into the attacking third. Here is Brecht. Pushes it into the middle, trying to find DiMartino. Nobody home as Kruer will track it back down. Has to keep possession here with not a whole lot between she and the goal. Here is Guthrie. Goes ahead to DiMartino. DiMartino has to earn the ball. And she'll be fouled about 40 yards off. And this will be an interesting call here for Indy 11 here in the 57th minute.
Yeah, this is, again, another one that I think is within Guthrie's range from what we've seen from her this season. With that being said, it's also a good opportunity to just try and place one of those floated balls in between the attackers and the keepers. You take another look there. Yeah, I think it's a good call. And it will be Guthrie over the ball here for the free kick.
About 35, 40 yards off here is Guthrie. Lots of options here in the penalty area as she lays this one in. Just missed off the header there from Brecht. Lee with an opportunity now to Jadoin. Jadoin hungry for a goal as she's had several opportunities so far in this contest. This is touched out of bounds. Corner coming again for Indy 11.
Another opportunity here, and as the game almost shrinks, because you'll see Toledo trying to defend and keep them in that small area, that's when you see like Kruger and Lee coming into the attacking half. It gets tight, right? There's not a lot of room to move the ball, so being able to get those corners is going to create a great opportunity each time they can.
Guthrie sends this one in. It's punched out by Sluss. Not a lot of contact on that one as Indy 11 still have an opportunity. And how about the presence of mind right there of Kruger to put that off the defender and get another corner on the other side.
I'll tell you what, this is why these women are top class. I mean, we've talked about some of the colleges that they represent during their regular seasons, but obviously coming here and performing in front of this crowd is take another look there. Yeah,
that was Abby Mills who did that.
Yeah, impressive. Like you said, presence of mind, the awareness, all things you expect at this level.
Keeping it short is Dardano. And now a loose ball sent back in by Lee. Mishandled though by Johnson. And nearly kept in play, but it'll be a throw in here for Toledo. And Indy 11 riding a 4-match winning streak, going all the way back to their loss on the road on May 27th against Racing Louisville FC. That was a 1-0 defeat.
That one game is the difference right now.
That one goal is the difference right now, Quinn, to put it in even more perspective. As right now, Indy 11 just holding on to the hope that they can make the postseason. Again, so far so good as far as the way things stand at the moment. At last check, it was a 3-2 lead for Dayton Dutch Lions over Racing Louisville, which is exactly what Indy 11 need to finish at the top of the standings in the Valley.
Yeah, great news coming out from down south there. Obviously, a lot of soccer still to play. But, hey, to have Dayton Dutch Lions up 3-2, all you need if you're an 11 fan or 11 player or anyone is a tie or a loss from Racing. So they've got to score 3 goals basically in the next 45 minutes, Racing does, to try and hang on to that spot. So if the 11 take care of business like it looks right now, we could be celebrating a playoff berth at the end of this game.
Here is Brecht. Gets her pocket picked right off the 18 there by Lila Marr. Sent back in by Indy 11. This is Sadie Walsh. Can't quite get out of her own third here as it sails out of bounds. And a throw in coming as we have a couple more substitutions. This for Indy 11, and Emma Johnson will be coming out of the ball game, and we will see Olivia Joyce. Oh, it's going to be Jennings. So it'll be Jennings for DiMartino and Joyce for Johnson. So we have a handful of substitutions here. Of course, substitutions brought to you by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Also brought to you by Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how tequila tastes. Quick score update from the Dayton Dutch Lions Racing Louisville match. We are tied again, 3-3 in the 59th minute. Macy Barlow able to convert a penalty shot given up by Dayton Dutch Lions. Again, still a good result at the moment. Indy 11, though, cannot afford to have Racing Louisville take the lead in that match.
No, and that's, really why you've got to focus on here.
Here is Jadoin, crosses ahead, and a heads-up play by Sluss to get that one there and clear everything out.
That's such a good save by Sluss. I mean, the power that Jadoin gets on that cross, puts it on the ground, extends her out past the near post. She's been impressive this evening for sure against an unrelenting Indy 11 offense.
Lee pushes ahead to Jadoin. DeJoin recognizing some space for Chloe Brecht. As Brecht goes down the far sideline, has a little bit of help. Trying to push it ahead to Jennings. That time was Guthrie. And it's cleared back out into the middle. This portion of the match brought to you by Renaissance Indianapolis North Hotel. Treat yourself to an elegant stay at the Renaissance, just minutes away from both Grand Park and downtown Carmel. Here is Jadoin from distance. And you could hear that one hit the side of this massive indoor facility as that just goes off the right corner.
That is one thing about these players that always is, I don't want to say shocking, but it always surprises you when you see them moving so quickly and then getting a shot off like in the snap of a finger and the amount of power that they're able to put on that ball. It's really impressive.
This is Joyce working in the midfield now for Indy 11. Lee has Jadoin, has a little bit of room to work with, and looks for a little bit of help, and she finds it in Guthrie. Guthrie now gets it off to Brecht. Brecht back to Guthrie. Guthrie crosses in front. Nobody home as Jadoin was there, but just a little bit out of position. And it's going to be a goal kick again here for Sluss.
Another good attack there. You love that when it gets too congested, we saw in the switch, right? Open up the field, opens up the right side there, and that's how they're able to find that combo play with Guthrie and Jadoin in the middle.
Sluss gets a little bit of help from some teammates to clear it back over the midfield stripe. Long ball from Mills. Headed up and taken now. An excellent ball there by Hodgson. Here is Jennings, cross inside, save. An excellent ball taken in here by Indy 11.
Yeah, Jennings that time with the pace down the end line. Nice job beating that defender. Sluss again just up to the job. But again, you've got to look out for Hodgson there on the pickoff. She did a great job of reading that 50-50 and winning the second ball.
In the middle is Joyce trying to work around the midfield official. Outside to Brecht. Brecht has some help from Jennings. Some good defensive play here by Toledo, as here's a long ball going to be sent in from about 50 yards out off of the boot of Mills, and that will bounce into the paws here of Sluss.
I would expect that we'll see Jenna Chatterton off the bench at some point tonight, but worth mentioning that she usurped Grace Barr as the most capped Indy 11 player in history, made her 41st appearance back on, I believe it was June 13th, maybe?
That would be correct.
Yeah.
So tonight would be her 42nd appearance. Of course, now increasing her record in the USLW League for most appearances by a singular player in league history.
Yeah, she's had a great career, a standout here at home at Noblesville, played 3 years at University of Tennessee, and then transferred her senior and grad year down to Bloomington at IU, and it's a big part of that program there, and then obviously a well-known and beloved name here in the Indy 11 women's side.
This portion of the match brought to you by Desnuda 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes. Jadoin working the far side of the field along with Guthrie. And they both touch it out of bounds there. And a throw in here for Toledo, as we'll have a fresh substitution for Toledo. This will be Ellie Kearse coming in for, I believe this will be Taylor Lynham. So Taylor Lynham will be checking out of the ball game, and coming back in here for the first time will be Ella Kearse, as these substitutions brought to you by Desnuda 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes.
Now, with only 2 reserves on the bench, I don't think we'll see probably the other substitute, and if we do, it'll be well into the past the 80th minute at that point.
Again, only 13 players brought to this match by Toledo Villa FC here this afternoon. Here is Brecht working with Jennings. Left foot goes on goal and saved by Sluice.
Man, Sluice has, proven herself, I feel like, from some of those outside shots this evening, really showing you're going to have to do something a little bit more creative than that to kind of get past her this evening. Obviously, 3 very well-deserved goals, but I bet you she's probably close to double digits in saves for the evening.
She has certainly had her hands full, quite literally, here in the 68th minute. Toledo just trying to break free. They have been unable to do so all night long. The only time they were really able to was off of that miscue from Emily Edwards in stoppage time of the first half. Here's a chance for Toledo. Going along the far sideline off the 18, shot and just goes off the side of the net right there. An excellent effort by Emily Edwards. But the clean strike there by Toledo does not come anywhere, and it remains 3-1.
Yeah, it looked like Edwards had that covered there. A nice job to get back to that near post. Bit of a testing shot there from Toledo. And again, with that 3-1, you feel like you've got a little bit of breathing room. But again, those are just the moments. They're just little hurdles almost along the game that you've just got to jump over, get past, and continue on your way to the win. Yeah.
Breaking 3 and tripped right at the center field spot was Olivia Joyce.
Oh.
And wasting no time right there was Dardano. But the official going to bring the ball back here as they'll reset everything. Looks like we've got a yellow card given to Toledo.
Yeah, I think it was on that second tackle there. Honestly, a bit of, a professional foul, if you will, middle of the field. You feel like if she gets past, she's going to combine and get an opportunity on goal. So you'll sacrifice a yellow card, stop the play, and see what you can do from there.
Joyce keeps things moving off the hustle from Aubrey Clark of Toledo and nearly wins the ball. Taylon Guthrie, though, not giving it up without a fight. And again, another free kick given to Indy 11. Guthrie going quickly here. She gives the ball off to Jennings. Mills sends this one in. Coming way off the line to get that one is Sluice. "20 minutes left to play, plus stoppage time in this pivotal matchup here in the Valley Division. It is the thinnest of margins between not only these two teams, but also two teams playing down south right now in Dayton Dutch Lions and Racing Louisville.
Yeah, thin margins all season, whether it be on the pitch or in the table there as well. Indy 11 had their work cut out for them up to about 4 games ago. They're trying to figure out with the math, how do we get that playoff berth? And they've been on a hot streak since.
Here is Brecht. She goes on target and goes a little off target there as she sends that high above the right corner of the goal. Another excellent attack here by Chloe Brecht, who has certainly been the Energizer Bunny on the offensive end here all night long for Indy 11.
Yeah, they really just got some nice pieces that work well together. We talk about Brecht and Dardano over here on the right side. DiMartino getting involved as well. Some of those just combinations that have worked well for them all season. And then, we talk about throwing in a Hodgson up top and some of the firepower she brings. I think Jennings has been really impactful off the bench in this second half as well. Really just, again, you don't drop off much when you go to your bench if you're Coach Brandon Kim.
More substitutions. Liliana Garza will check in for Toledo Villa FC. And coming out will be Ashlyn Heft. So that is the final substitution that Toledo can make here this evening. Substitutions brought to you by Desnuda 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes.
A little risky on the substitute there, but I guess, at this point in the game, kind of got to go all in.
66th minute now down south. It remains a 3-3 draw at the moment as Dayton Dutch Lions and Racing Louisville FC continue to adjudicate that match Again, we've said it multiple times. Indy 11 needs Dayton Dutch Lions to either win or draw Racing Louisville in order to clinch the top spot in the Valley.
Right, and even if Racing, does somehow end up winning this one 4-3 down there, you've still got another chance on the weekend as well.
Quick throw in comes back in for Indy 11. In the middle now is Dardano. Here is Crewer. Darts this one in, trying to get it to Lee that time. But it gets poked back out into the feet of Joyce. Here is Jennings. Working with the right foot, gets to the 18. Has it poked away by Toledo. Another opportunity. Brecht gets her pocket picked, and the ball rolls out of bounds, and goal kick awarded to Toledo Villa. Sluss airmails this one back into the center. And some good singular touches here for Toledo, but Crewer is there to at least foil that attack.
Oof.
Bump from behind, a free kick awarded to Indy 11.
A bit of an extension there. Take another look here. Yeah, that'll get you a call. This is where if Toledo Villa went with the front three there and pressured, you'd have a much better chance of winning that ball.
Sent in. Nobody home for Indy 11. Off the rebound, though. Here is a shot that tries to roll in, and that will be pulled up by Sluice off of the boot of Ellie Hodgson. Here's another opportunity. Here is Jadoin. Puts it outside with the left foot shot. Tries to get it inside corner, and gumming down for that one here is Sluice again.
You knew as soon as Jadoin got that ball there on the pickoff, she was going for goal, and that final touch to the left just takes her a little bit too wide that cuts that angle. Easy enough for Sluss to get down to that near post there, and it's really just that last touch by Jadoin that closes the angle on herself.
Jadoin looking for her third goal of the season here tonight. Has had a couple of opportunities, but nothing coming to fruition at the moment. Jennings working the far sideline. Here is back to Mills. Into the middle, again with Dardano. And a whistle and a free kick going to be given to Indy 11. This portion of the match, as we take a look at this one again real quick for Dardano, pretty easy call there for the official. This portion of the match brought to you by Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Johnson Controls.
This one, I would think, would go on frame. Unless there was a short layoff run around the top of the 18.
Here is a long ball floated in. Good ball taken by Guthrie off of the feed there from Jadoin. You certainly saw what the idea was right there on that one. You have Guthrie run over the ball, Jadoin take it.
Love it.
Pick and roll action, so to speak.
Yeah, a little like almost a, what is that, Statue of Liberty play in football where they leave the ball in the middle? I don't know, whatever they called it in Little Giants, right? But I love it. I mean, you don't see that often. And even the service there by Jadoin, she almost had some backspin on it to try and bring that ball up so that Guthrie could get onto the end of it. But I love that. A little creative off the set piece.
A little backspin on that chip shot onto the green right there from Jadoin. A few substitutions coming now for Indy 11. So Crewer's day is done for Indy, and this will be Lauren Adam coming on for Indy 11. Adam, who won 3 state championships as a Noblesville Miller in high school, now coming on here in relief for Indy 11.
Large applause there for Crewer, as well as Brooke and Lee. They have put in a shift on the back line there, and Mackenzie Crewer, you can't say enough about her as a defender. You know, not only does she have the intangibles like the height and the touch, but just the leadership, the quiet confidence that she provides to that back line. It really is the anchor of the Indy 11 defense.
And also Jenna Chatterton comes into the ball game for Indy 11, making her 42nd appearance in USLW League action, extending her league record for most appearances by a singular player.
Literally been with the team since the inception of it. Only player left.
In fact, another player from Noblesville, along with Lauren Adam.
Yeah, but she can obviously still play. As you see, us old graduated folks, well, I'm still a wee bit older than her. But good to see her out there, and great, you know, obviously to be involved in something like this, and we hope eventually to see this 11 side go to the full, you know, USL Super League there. You know, when that happens, it's the people like Jenna Chatterton, Grace Barr, some of those players that really are who they'll be standing on top of.
The margin is still razor thin down in Louisville. Dayton Dutch Lions and Racing Louisville still tied at 3 apiece now in the 77th minute down in that contest. Floater comes to the near sideline, and this is Jadoin. One-on-one with the defender. She wins the ball. Tries to get in on the 18. Gives herself some space. Tries to cross it in front. Nobody home there as Toledo able to defend. Tough ball taken here by Abby Mills. Mills wins the ball here as she gives it off to Chloe Brecht. Jenna Chatterton playing on the back line here on this shift for head coach Brandon Kim. A tough play right there, and they're going to give this ball to Dayton Dutch Lions, and you could hear the frustration from the Indy 11 side right here. That's namely Jadoin, who is trying to plead her case to the referee here. We've already had one yellow card given to Indy 11 here tonight. And now we have a whistle, and it's going to be a yellow card given. It's going to be Ellie Hodgson going to be getting the yellow card here.
Well, you know.
It was Jadoin who was on the receiving end of that foul, but it is Jadoin, or rather it is Hodgson, who had a few things to say to the referee, so that'll be a yellow for her.
First of all, that free kick needs to be back about 10 yards. But that being said, we just saw the replay. I mean, the Toledo Villa player tripped on the back of Jadoin's shoes. So it's not like Jadoin was pushing her over or even forcing her over. Jadoin was past her towards the goal. So I'm sure Hodgson had a good view of that from wherever she's at. And there's another late tackle. But couldn't pay me enough to referee. That's what I'll say.
Here's an attack from Indy 11. Jennings with a little bit of room. Has the right foot cross inside. And it will get bumped out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in for Indy 11. 10 minutes and some change, along with stoppage time left to play here in this contest. 3-1, your score. Indy 11 hitting 2 goals in the opening 45, giving up 1 as well. But then starting off this second 45 minutes right out of the gate with Emma Johnson finding the back of the net. And now another free kick given to Toledo as some words being said now from the Indy 11 bench. Even Coach Brandon Kim is a little frustrated as he gets to the extra official here along the scorer's bench here at midfield.
Yeah, tough calls are going to happen throughout the game. I think the concern here is obviously you're in the dying moments of the game, last 10 minutes here. Things are getting heated. The last thing you want to see is a bad tackle, an angry tackle, something out of spite. You just don't want to see it end ugly.
And now we have some words from the Toledo Villa sideline here. Head coach Ella Vandermeulen having some words with the on-field official here. Ella Vandermeulen, by the way, the head coach of Toledo, a former coach at Bowling Green, Central Florida, and Lourdes University, played professionally over in Europe for Swansea City Ladies FC, along with the Wales women's national team. So she has a soccer pedigree of her own to bring to the table here for Toledo.
With that last name, she should be the head coach of the Dayton Dutch Lions. Joe liked that one.
Here's an opportunity off the broken play here from Toledo.
Man, well, that was all going down the substitution. Hodgson almost picked up a second yellow there really quickly just on that tackle over by the far sideline. She got a little bit of a conversation with the center on that.
Coming inside and easily taken here by Avery Sluice. Inside the final 7 minutes here of this ball game.
In the second half, the 11 have looked much more solid playing out of the back. You know, maybe not playing back when they're in position as much as they typically do. But with that being said, as of course, announcers curse as they give the pick off, but many less turnovers this half.
Toledo with an opportunity, cross inside. And this will be played up by Mills. Extra ball coming in now for Clark. Clark turns around, tries to put a shot on target. Follow-up doesn't go there for Walsh. Indy in a little bit some trouble here as Mills is finally able to get control of this and corral it back outside. Here is Jadoin trying to win the ball here, and it gets poked out of bounds, and it is Indy 11 throw-in.
She's another player just like the Energizer Bunny. I tell you what, she was hustling back. We've seen her make some honestly close to goal-scoring tackles on the defensive end, and then doing a nice job as well trying to find the back of the net. She's had a lot of great chances.
This portion of the match brought to you by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Again, the score as we know it at the moment, still holding at 3-3 at the moment here as the match taking place over in Dayton.
Yeah, if that result holds, I think you'll feel like the division ended the way it should have.
Here's an attack coming here by Aubrey Clark. Clark one-on-one with Edwards and can't quite get that one to go on target. It just skirts off the side of the right post. That was a heck of an opportunity here by Aubrey Clark.
Yeah, her speed has been impressive all night long from that first pressure we saw, but there, I mean, she's getting away from two top-class defenders there. Edwards does a nice job of just trying to close down some space. She doesn't necessarily get a hand to the ball, but her positioning forces Clark to go wide.
Well, Chloe Breck's day is done. She has had a heck of a ball game this afternoon. Blair Satterfield will check in here for Indy 11. Satterfield's, of course, the daughter of Hamilton Southeastern girls basketball coach Brian Satterfield.
Yeah, another state champion on the field, Indiana state champion on the field for the 11.
Absolutely. Here is Jadoin. Puts this one right on target, and an easy save by Sluice just off the 18.
Yeah, she's been just really solid within that 1-2 shuffle range. Not even bobbling anything, just solid holds. She's been really solid between the pipes for them tonight. Another
opportunity for Toledo. This is Clark. And the 2-on-1 advantage to Indy 11. Makes it easy for them to be able to put it back into the midfield. This portion of the match brought to you by Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Johnson Controls. Here is a lob way over anybody in contention for that ball as it goes to the near sideline. And at the moment here, Kristen, Indy 11 just playing it to keep this lead and hope for the best from over in Dayton.
Yeah, you feel like you've, gotten the job done. Maybe not as pretty as it's been in the past, but got the job done tonight. You did control what you could control, and it's just fingers. I mean, I'm nervous up here listening to the updates from you. Gonna have to hang around for a second.
Well, some unfortunate news from Dayton. Racing Louisville FC have now taken the lead 4-3 in the 87th minute.
I want you to know, Kurt, you're my least favorite person right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Don't shoot the messenger.
Man.
So
Hey, with the way that game's gone, though, there's still
7 goals.
Yeah, still a sec there. Dayton could tie it up.
Again, that's not including stoppage time. There's still some time to play over in that match. But at the moment, despite the result here as it stands, Indy 11 in some trouble for their postseason aspirations.
And like we were saying before we got the score update, if that had held and it was the 11 that really clinched that spot, you would have felt like things fell where they potentially should have. I mean, obviously Racing Louisville got the head-to-head win. They really came out and started the season on a little bit of a faster foot than the 11. And, when you look at goal differential, you can't even touch Indy. No one in the league can almost touch them, to be honest. And so from that perspective and how much they've scored lately against the same teams, you feel like the 11 are the team playing the best soccer right now. Obviously, that's, not what goes into deciding the playoff.
Here's a shot going just outside of the target area. That was Emma Jennings putting that one in play as we come into the final minute of regulation. Again, Indy's playoff hopes in jeopardy right now, despite the fact that they are up 3-1. Racing Louisville leading Dayton Dutch Lions 4-3 at last check in the 87th minute. So as the final seconds of regulation tick away, here is Guthrie getting around the defender, puts a right boot into it, and that's going to be defended by Toledo. It'll be 3 added minutes, 3 minutes of stoppage time as we keep on rolling here at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus.
And obviously we'll keep an eye on that end result there. If it holds with Racing taking the win tonight, you've still got one more chance on the 24th there when this Toledo Villa team will go and play Racing Louisville. Obviously, you like the chances of tonight's matchup a little bit better just based on records, but hey, we believe in miracles around here.
Either way, Indy 11 still need Racing Louisville to get one more loss, depending on how things shake out right now. Free kick given to Indy 11 here as we work the second minute of stoppage time. Again, goals by Matt Kruer here this evening. An own goal by Toledo Villa. And then Emma Johnson getting on the sheet here with her 3rd goal of the season.
Good to have Emma back in the starting lineup. We saw her off the bench last week, and just to have her back vibing with the team, getting into the rotation a bit. It's always, I think, a little bit harder than people think. And so to see her go ahead and get, I'm going to call it 2 goals tonight. She pronounced herself very well back onto the starting 11 there, and I think she put in a good performance for the about 60 minutes we saw her tonight.
So as we approach the final minute of stoppage time, Indy 11 likely holding on to a good result tonight, 3-1 here in the regular season finale. But of course, they hope to have one more opportunity here later on, as Racing Louisville and this Toledo Villa team will play each other next week, as a left-footed shot will go off the side of one defender here off the boot of Hodgson.
And if this is where the road ends for this team, what a fun summer, you know. You talked about Hodgson coming in her first appearance and scoring a hat trick in about 30 minutes. Just some amazing soccer. We talked about, you know, Emma Johnson and her national team appearances. I think you've got, you know, Greg and I have talked about it before, but probably 3 or 4 players on the pitch right now for the 11 that you could probably see in the NWSL or the USL Super League. Anything like that, just the talent that continues to play for the Indy 11 crest just seems like better and better every year, and a well-fought campaign this year. Obviously, still some hope that you make it into the postseason, but really, they came down the stretch of the season playing some brilliant soccer.
They certainly did. Again, riding what will now be a 5-match win streak, and now is a 5-match win streak. Your final here at Grand Park. Indy 11 3, Toledo Villa FC 1, as we go to postgame right after this. Back in a moment on the Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Owning a home can be complicated.
Why?
Oops.
How am I going to explain this to your mother? She hasn't even been gone 2 hours.
You know what? I'm just going to call him.
Pros for over 80 years.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation. And the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
This copyrighted telecast of United Soccer League action cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League. Alongside Kristen Hazley, I'm Kurt Darling. Final here in Indy 11, of course, at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. The Indy 11 win 3-1 over Toledo Villa FC. Well, Kristen, we still have yet to get a final score from Dayton at the moment. The future of this team this season rests out of their hands.
Yeah, and you knew that was a realistic chance coming down through the stretch. You always knew you were going to be just that half step behind Racing Louisville. You took care of business. You beat them head-to-head. You defended your home pitch. And unfortunately, it's going to be that one tie, one goal, one loss that's going to potentially come back and be just the separating margin here. All in all, though, like we said at the end of the broadcast, nothing to be ashamed of here in this season and the way this team pulled together. You know, fingers crossed that we'll see him again, but if not, hey, we'll be back next year.
Either way, it should be a heck of an effort to try and replicate, even exceed the success this team put on the pitch here this season, and we hope to have more soccer to bring you as the season goes on. For now, we will go ahead and say so long here from Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Desnuda 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes, and by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Final score once again here at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus, Indy 11-3 and Toledo Villa FC 1. Special thanks to our ISC Sports Network production crew. For Kristen Hazley, I'm Kurt Darling. You've been watching Indy 11 Soccer and the USLW League on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.